In 1989, a global corporation suddenly became the commander of the sixth largest submarine fleet on Earth. They didn't launch a military coup, and they didn't conquer a nation. They did it by selling sugar water to a dying empire. This is the bizarre story of how Pepsi ended up with 17 attack submarines, a cruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer. And why the President of the United States was left completely stunned by a business deal. To understand how a soda company disarmed a superpower, we have to go back to a hot summer day in Moscow, 1959. The Cold War was raging, but at the American National Exhibition, a temporary truce was made over a cup of ice-cold soda. Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev took a single sip of Pepsi, and his reaction shocked the international press. He loved it. And instantly, an entire nation of citizens became completely obsessed with a forbidden Western taste. But when Pepsi tried to finalize a massive distribution deal to sell to the public, they hit a massive financial wall. The Soviet Ruble was legally worthless outside of the borders of the USSR. It could not be traded internationally. Pepsi couldn't take their cash, and the Soviet Union couldn't buy their product. The trade agreement was completely dead. Until the Kremlin looked at its spreadsheets and realized they had a massive economic anomaly they could exploit. If they couldn't pay in currency, they would pay in a commodity that the West valued just as much: premium Russian vodka. For years, the barter system worked perfectly. Soda went in, stolichnaya vodka came out, and everyone was winning. But by the late 1980s, the Soviet economic machine was collapsing under its own weight, and the vodka supply dried up. With a population demanding more soda and absolutely zero liquid assets left, the Kremlin made a desperate, unprecedented offer. They didn't offer commodities. They offered their active naval archives to clear their multi-billion-dollar debt. The Soviet Union signed a treaty handing over a literal armada directly to a consumer brand's balance sheet. In a single afternoon, Pepsi took ownership of 17 attack submarines, an entire cruiser, a frigate, and a massive destroyer. A company built on marketing sugar water to teenagers was suddenly commanding a lethal, global military fleet. The international community was paralyzed. A private corporation now held more naval firepower than most NATO allies. But Pepsi wasn't interested in naval dominance or starting a global conflict. They were business managers, looking at margins. Maintaining a fleet of aging Cold War vessels is an astronomical financial liability. They needed to liquidate, fast. So, Pepsi struck a rapid deal with a Swedish scrap metal syndicate to completely dismantle their new assets. The 17 attack submarines were towed out of Soviet waters, docked in foreign ports, and prepared for destruction. Day after day, heavy machinery tore into the hulls, melting down advanced military engineering into simple commercial steel. They literally turned a lethal Cold War arsenal into recycled consumer commodities and cold hard cash. The sheer madness of the deal reached the highest levels of the United States government. During a briefing, the National Security Advisor to the United States questioned the corporate overreach. "We're disarming the Soviet Union faster than you are." It remains the ultimate example of pulling crazy margins out of absolute chaos.